This evening we're going to discuss how to add fractions with like denominators and how to subtract fractions with like denominators. This is going to be a pretty short lesson because this is a fourth grade objective that you guys really have some background information on. This is really just for review for those that need it, and then next week when we start to progress with adding fractions and mixed numbers with unlike denominators, okay? So what we need to know, remember that Mr. Marriott has 5 rules to deal with fractions, and we're learning them as we go along. The first being that a denominator can only change if you multiply or divide it. You can't add or subtract denominators. Denominators are like the box that we're holding our numbers in. The whole fraction has value. It's not 2 separate parts, which leads us to number 2. Which it's not on there at all. So we'll come to that part in another video. I absolutely forgot. But what we do need to know is that since the denominators cannot change without multiplying or dividing, there's no reason to change them today. Okay? As you're going to see with the examples we're going to give you, it really comes down to, can you add and subtract? And then once you get an answer, making sure that we always check for the simplest form. All right? Now, I recommend trying to divide by 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9. If the denominator and numerator don't have any of those 6 numbers in common, then you're pretty safe. Occasionally there's going to be an obscure one that has 11 as a common factor or 13 as a common factor, but those are going to be few and far between, okay? First off, let's look at an example that's 2/5 plus 3/5. It's pretty straightforward. I know you're thinking, Mr. Marriott, this is easy. Why are you wasting our time with this? It's review, and we're getting into fractions, and it's going to get a lot tougher, so we got to make sure we master the basics. First, like I said, the denominator stays the same. It's 5. We're adding. It's going to stay 5. I have 2 out of 5 parts. I'm adding it with 3 out of 5 parts. That gives me 5 out of 5. Now, check for simplest form. If you ever have a case where the numerator and denominator are the same, you have a full set. 1 is the simplest form for 5/5. Another example I'm giving you, take 3/10, let's add it to 8/10. You'll notice that the denominators, guys, are still exactly the same. We're not going to mess with the denominator. The denominator is going to remain unchanged, okay? So that means we just add the numerators, 3 plus 8. 3 plus 8 is 11, but watch out. We got to always check for simplest form. And I know what you're thinking. 11 and 10 don't have anything in common. You're right, they don't. But 11 parts, and we only need 10 for a whole set. Always watch for that improper fraction. And if you have it, the simplest form of an improper fraction is always in a mixed number. You got to change it, okay? 11/10, we've done a lot of work with improper fractions and mixed numbers. We know that's 1 full set with 1 piece left over, so 11/10 is equal to 1 1/10. Now, we get on to subtraction. Guess what? The rules for subtraction are exactly the same as of addition. The only thing that you need to really remember is that subtraction is not commutative. You can't flip-flop the fractions if you need to. That's one of the most common mistakes students make, is that they will change the order of the fractions with subtraction or change subtraction numbers, period. You can't do that, okay? 7/9 minus 4/9. Again, denominator is 9. We're not going to mess with it. We're going to leave it alone. It's that simple. 7 minus 4, straightforward, that's 3. Now 3/9, got to check for simplifying. Now, it probably jumped out right away that 3 and 9 have a common factor of 3. So let's divide the top and bottom by 3 for 1/3. Okay? Like I said, it's a quick video today. I got a couple try-its that I want you to do. First of all, I want you to add 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 1/3. Oh no, 3? Yes, 3 add-ins. It'll be okay. I'm pretty sure you can handle it. Number 2, I want you to take 8/10 and subtract 3/10. Okay, it looks similar to the example that we just did, but it's not. It's subtraction this time. And then the last one, I want you to take 7/9 and I want you to add it to 5/9. Give me all 3 try-it answers in simplest form, guys. Last thing, as we start to progress towards middle school, one of the things that we need to do is take our 2-column notes and start to move them to what's called Cornell notes that we use, okay? The big change between 2-column notes and Cornell notes is the use of writing a summary in your own words at the end of the lesson. As part of your review, kind of mastering the information for yourself, I want you to write a short 1 to 2 sentence summary in your own words of what today's lesson was about. See you tomorrow.